So on our list of things to do before we can test ride this bike, we have already done the front brake calipers. Boom. The brake lever we did just the other day. And now, building off of that, I'm going to do the rear master cylinder. So here's all of our rear brake components, our master cylinder, our caliper, everything, and all the hoses connecting the two. We've got to take a lot of this stuff off. I only need one hose now instead of the two hoses, so I have to take one of those off. Our master cylinder goes behind this little guard here, goes back there, and here's our pedal that we rebuilt just the other day. So I don't need this guy here. This is like a little connection that for the linked brakes. They had another tube here coming from the front of the bike, connecting the brakes from the front to the brakes to the rear. We're gonna get rid of that, and we'll get rid of the associated tube to that one. We'll put everything back on the bike, and then we still need to make a connection right here, a little jumper, but I haven't got the parts yet. All right, so I wanna get these little connectors here off first. And they're already there's a little bolt on here, it's already loose. Take that off. And I love how these are literally like little hose clamp holders, whatever, that they have intertwined together with, and then put with one bolt, basically. Very clever use of an existing thing already. No over-engineering on that. I love stuff like that, where they just sort of cleverly utilize what they already have available. Like, you wonder why Hondas are cheaper. Like, I bet you. That is one of the reasons right there. All right, can I get this hose off? I mean, the answer is almost certainly not. I won't have the leverage I need to get it off of here, but. All right, let's put this on the bike. All right, now I should be able to get this other hose off of here. I should have the leverage I need to break this loose. Just gotta hit it. All right, so there's one hose off. And this guy runs along the top here and at some point crosses over and goes over here. I'm missing like the chain guard thing on top here that this attaches to. This guy. That guy goes up on top here. So yeah, what I don't know at this point is how this hose runs along behind the wheel and the exhaust. Where's the hose go? All right, I don't really know, but I'm gonna start connecting what I do know, which is there should be a hose clamp here. All right, I'm thinking there's gotta be one that goes to the bottom of the battery box. Yeah, and then this guy connects what, up here somewhere? All right, so yeah, that looks logical to me. To this bolt up here, should be the little housing right there, but I gotta weave this line up behind the subframe, and then down in here, the hose should run up to the bottom of the battery box. There's a connection there. Does that make sense? Because how the heck do you get the... Alright, no, I have referenced the service manual, and as far as I can tell, this is the spot for it. It's supposed to be here between these two bars. This is the only bolt in sight, and it lines up with where this tube sort of wants to go. It's just, I feel like something's off here. I mean, since it was in a wreck, I mean, it's certainly possible this thing is not where it's supposed to be. Ultimately, I'm rebuilding the subframe and I can put it wherever I want at that point. I'm not going to worry too much about it at the moment. All right, I've also got my brake indicator, my little brake switch light, basically. I need to get this guy on here, and I almost think it'd be easier if I took this off again. Yeah, holy crap, would that be easier. All right, so this threads down through all of this. And then connects to this little lever down there. So I gotta get this, like this is kind of the most complex positioning for one of these I've ever seen. Like, look at how secure that is between all of this stuff. Because those are usually kind of like an afterthought, but this thing was like, it was like one of the first things they thought about. All right, so that is pretty much set up there at the moment. Let's stick this guy back on here. I'm still missing a bolt here for the master cylinder. Still need to get the extra banjo bolt off of the master cylinder. All right, tighten stuff down a little bit more. We can get in here. Whack this out of here. As you can see right now, it's got this very interesting little guy there that's on there. I'm gonna take that off. Yeah, and it's got like this dual sort of opening bolt on there. I need to swap this bolt out for a different bolt as well. And we should have one from all the hosing we took off. So here's all of our stuff. I will take one of those if I can get it off of here. Try not to put this in the vise to do the hammer. There we are. Now we should have a banjo bolt. It just has one single opening on it there between these guys. I mean, look at that. So, all right, swapping it out for this one. And of course, I've got a couple crush washers that go in there. One on either side of the banjo bolt. All right, there we go. We've adapted something, we've modified some things. All right, now I want to get this guy on here, attach it to the actual brake pedal. Not much of a cotter pin, that thing's busted. So I need to get another cotter pin for this. That's not really the sort of thing I have laying around. All right, so we need a cotter pin, I need an extra bolt there. I need a way to attach this thing up here. The hose that goes between, that spans that gap. There's an attachment point at the bottom of battery box that I have previously sawed off because it's right next to the drain for the battery box and it's completely rusted. I had to saw that off. I now need to like take this whole plastic battery box thing off because the battery box here is attached to this entire plastic thing that runs the entire subframe of the bike. And so I need to take all that out so I can sort of drill this old bolt out and put a new bolt in there. It's like this intertwined ecosystem here. Everything, there's just like a cascading effect for everything you do. All right, another thing I noticed while we were taking this connection here apart is that on the other end of this, I mean, I could disconnect it here, and I've got this nice short little hose. Even though I had other plans to make my own hose, basically this is a nice little interim sort of solution. I'm going to take this guy off. All right, so yeah, with this guy, I can sort of wind this around, and in theory, we could use this. I mean, possibly we can use this. Connect our lines on the rear caliper that's not featured here. So yeah, if we go and take our rear caliper back off again. All right, so we've got this one line coming in here. I've already loosened this. And then there was this other line that came in there that was for the sort of, that came from the proportional valve for the linked brake system. And we've removed that line, but you can also see that these are at two different levels, right? So this one, if I swap this bolt out for that longer bolt that had that was made for two connections, right? I can put two banjo bolts on this end of it. Yeah, for this longer bolt here, I can put two banjo bolts over here now, and I can also link this brake system together with this hose. Let's see. Let's see how this actually works, right? I'm actually going to move this line over to there. So this line will come in right here. To this guy on top, another crush washer in between. We'll throw this banjo bolt on the bottom. We need another crush washer on the bottom here. And this bolt goes in there. Alright, so then swing this guy around to here and tie that in, and that's our connection. It's not horrible. It's not a horrible solution, really. I love the aspect of this where I'm reusing a part that I was going to discard from the other part of the bike, like just swapping it from one area to another. Like that's a lot of fun. All right, so this is the setup. We've got our main line coming in here. It goes to this bolt. We've got a double banjo on here. This shares fluid over across here to this guy here. And we've got full fluid action going into this brake pad. All right, so moving my attention back to this one bolt that we're missing there. And I'm trying to find an equivalent in this bin here. All right, I've got a solution. It's not elegant though, because this has a regular sort of head on it, whereas the other one has an Allen head on it. So they don't match, and that looks really crappy and unprofessional, right? And so, but we can at least secure it on there for now. So we're missing a cotter pin. I need to get that. Still need to tighten down the axle. So yeah, that's about it for today. I'm gonna leave the wheel off. That's it, man. We'll see you tomorrow.